McDaniel this morning after 4 seasons and 2 playoff appearances, both of which came in the first 2 years, though. Now, the Dolphins also need a GM, so they said they'll hire that position first before looking for a head coach.
Who's Aikman working with? Is he going to work with the Dolphins? Remember that story just came out that he was going to be,
Aikman?
Yeah, he was going to be an advisor. He was going to do you remember Lefko?
Yes, I think it is the Dolphins.
Is it the Dolphins? Yeah. I don't.
Kind of interesting.
I wonder.
He is helping with the GM search for the Dolphins.
Okay, yeah. We saw the story when Harbaugh got fired, and they said 7 teams had reached out to him. At the time, there were only 6 openings outside of his team that just fired him. So we're going, well, who's that 7th team? I wonder if it was the Dolphins. And yeah, but Mike McDaniel, you were kind of on him early. You kind of liked him because he's got a weird sense of humor. He's kind of quirky and everything, but not a big surprise that they moved on.
Well, yeah, it really hasn't really worked out for him, and but I think he is like, and I'm not just talking about his personality, but just his attention to detail and everything. He's probably the guy that is closest to Mike McDonald.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember, John Morosi said we could see some movement in MLB after today, which is the deadline to exchange salary arbitration numbers. So the Mariners have come to terms with 2 players to avoid arbitration. They agreed to a $15.65 million deal for Randy Arozarena for this season and a $6.55 million with George Kirby for this season.
To avoid arbitration.
So
when you look at that, for Kirby in particular, what a bargain.
I know.
I mean, in baseball dollars, I know we're talking about multi-millions, but in baseball dollars, based on what he produces, what his value is to that rotation when he's healthy, that's a pittance. It really is. They're getting away cheap with this rotation right now.
Did you ever think you'd say that about $6.55 million?
No, that's why I always have to say in baseball dollars.
Yeah. No, and I love that, there's not a lot of talk anyway about them, trading away any of their starting rotation, that it's all about, prospects. And so, but I saw that number and I'm like, $6.5 million.
That's nothing. It's under the seat cushions there for John Stanton in the group. All right. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. There's an unintended cost that comes with success, and the Seahawks might be experiencing that this week. We'll get into that. Coming up next, we continue live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had like the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game to beat the Rams in that place that night, Salk, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Sewing Machine Service reminds parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. A message from the entire team at Sewing Machine Service, the family-owned sewing experts proudly serving the greater Northwest since 1942. Wishing all our kids a safe and successful future.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Emerald Queen Casino Event Center presents the main event, powered by WFC, Friday night, February 6th. A night of professional boxing where champions are made and every punch counts. Contenders from the region go toe-to-toe, ready to prove they belong at the top. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss Fight Night, February 6th at Emerald Queen Casino, the boxing capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep. So this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes. For 7 days they are. And Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right. The best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We continue live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center with Wyman and Bob. We spoke with Rashid Shaheed in the opening segment, in case you guys are just tuning in and missed that conversation. Say it again. Really nice guy, Dave. Our listeners love to hear that. Well, we get grief from a couple of people like, oh, I'm glad they're nice guys. I want them to be good. I don't care. I think the majority of fans like to know that the guys they root for are good people. I think that the majority appreciate that. So it's good to talk to him. You guys can check that conversation out on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com.
Really, I mean, it's not so much that, oh, he's good with the media and stuff. It's that that he's going to get along with his teammates.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've had Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
I mean, Percy Harvin was a fantastic interview. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was.
I just loved him. And he's
out there beating people up in that locker room.
Couldn't get along with his teammates. So, that's when we're talking about that. Yeah, it's great for us, right? We got a tremendous interview from him, and he's willing to tell you a little bit more. He's not just answering the question. You know, that's great, but more than anything, it's about being able to, especially for him. I mean, you come mid-season, and he said he didn't know anybody.
Yeah,
except
he knew for Kubiak.
And that's it. So, that's a huge part of it, man. You got to really buy in and trust, and especially if you look on this defense, that's the first thing I think of is how tight these guys are and how much they stick together, and it's just a tight team in general. But especially you want a guy that's going to be able to, not throw haymakers at your teammates.
Yeah.
That's just a small detail.
Yeah, just a small request. If you could not beat the daylights out of your teammates, especially headed toward the Super Bowl, we'd really appreciate that. Team photo, somebody's got a black eye. We don't know what happened.
Well, remember when he apologized later and he was like, that was on your boy here. He was pointing to himself.
Was it?
Yeah, we kind of knew that.
I don't think you broke news with that one, but thanks for owning up to it.
I loved him as a player.
Hey, we always talk about distractions. I've always kind of looked at the idea of players being asked about another player and, it's a distraction. They're asking them about this guy's contract, or they're asking about this guy got in trouble or what. And the idea that somehow the fact that player, like if they were asking you, Dave Wyman, Paul Moyer got in trouble, he did this, and you're having to answer questions about it, that somehow you're not going to play as well. Somehow it's in your mind and you're not focused on football, and that's a distraction. I've always sort of dismissed that, and you kind of did as well when we talked about it. But when it comes to a coach, when it comes to what's going on right now, where there's an open season week for the Seahawks to have their assistants pilfered, if you will, by the rest of the league, we've heard Kubiak's name mentioned amongst 5-6 teams at this point. There are 7 openings. His name's been mentioned in a handful of them. Dirty's been mentioned as well. Do you have any fear that this could be a distraction, that somehow their focus isn't going to be on game? They can't really game plan right now because you're not certain who you're playing. Right. So I don't know what prep is like this week, but any fear that could get in the way?
No, I don't think so. I think especially in this case where, I don't think Kubiak is necessarily ready for that, and I'm not diminishing any of his, skills as a coach or anything, but, he just got here, and, I think he'd like to get his feet on the ground a little bit more here. So,
I hope so. I hope that's how he feels.
Yeah. And look, I don't know. I mean, how do you pass up an offer to be the head coach? I mean, I think it's anytime anybody starts coaching, they think that's the ultimate goal, but maybe not. I was just talking to Paul Moyer about Tom Catlin, and I was like, am I remembering that right? And he said, yeah, it was, he just knew that he was going to get, because he ran some great defenses, and he was a guy that was very thorough with installation and everything. Like I told you, my proudest moment was he told everybody, save your questions till the end. And I asked him a question, and he's like, that's a good question. I was like, wow, because he was so thorough. And, but did he have the charisma? Is he the kind of guy that's going to get up in front of a team? Tom was as dry as the day is long. I mean, I remember one time I told a joke and he actually laughed, and I thought his face was going to crack. He just wasn't that kind of guy, and that's what you're looking for these days. So I don't really know. I mean, I don't think we've seen Clint Kubiak's full, personality on display, but the other thing is that, And that's just my personal, I'm sure that he will develop into a guy like that because he's got a great mentor, and that's his dad.
Yeah.
His dad, Gary, was a tremendous head coach. But as far as the distraction and the time, I mean, what are we talking about? Like a 15-minute Zoom call, basically?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe a half hour. If it goes really good, maybe a little bit longer than that. I'm sure these teams are all being extremely thorough, but I mean, I picture it as being maybe a half an hour out of his day.
Yeah.
And then he's going to get back to, and if he is a head coach candidate, he'll quickly get back to, hey, this is the job at hand. And
maybe he's like, remember it was the two-headed monster. It was Ben Johnson, it was Mike McDonald, who's going to go where? And Ben Johnson elected to stick around for an extra year. Remember that. He was if he wasn't the hottest name, he was one of the top two out there, when Mike McDonald got hired. And he elected to stay another year and I don't know exactly what the reasons were. If he didn't feel like I'm not ready, I need another year, whatever it was. But so maybe Kubiak, as hot as his name could be in these, I still think Harbaugh is the front runner for probably any job that is open at this point. But if Kubiak's looking at the situation, going, I'm gonna get these interviews under my belt, just kind of get a feel for it. But none of these feel like the right move for me right now, and I'm on the verge of a Super Bowl here. So maybe he pulls a Ben Johnson and sticks around for at least another year.
Yeah, I just don't see it as being a problem. And then Aiden Dirty on the other side. I mean, that would be a tremendous loss. We don't really know. I think we know the impact that Kubiak has had on this offense.
Yeah,
especially now with the run game and sticking with it. And just like Mark Schlereth told us, the run attempts. That's what really is important about the run game in general, and then play action pass, and that's what they've stuck with that. So you're seeing the effect definitely of what Clint Kubiak has on this offense. But as far as on the other side, Mike's kind of the defensive coordinator, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be a tremendous loss, but I don't really know how involved Aiden Dirty is as the defensive coordinator.
Right. As far as quickly before the break, just the offense, hypothetically, Kubiak goes somewhere else. He's a head coach. You have faith that they come up with a guy equal to, maybe better than? I mean, this has been a city that's, for all the success of this team, most of the complaints have been about the offense, right? Even when Darrell Bevell was here and they were a top 10 offense. Remember, we went and looked at all the numbers from those years where everybody's like, Bevell doesn't know football, he's terrible, and they're a top 10 offense. They were getting things done, but they were having a hard time finding that guy. Certainly, it didn't work last year, and you had Shannon, you had different guys here that just didn't quite get it to the point where people felt like we got our guy. Now it feels like you got your guy, and he could be on the move. So, do you have faith they're going to be able to find that next guy that everybody's going to be happy with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little biased just because I've known him for a long time, but Rick Dennison, has been an offensive coordinator in the league. He was with the Broncos 2006 through 8. He was the offensive coordinator. Then he came back and did it again in 15 and 16 with the Broncos. Coordinator for the Bills. I mean, he's well-traveled, no question. But he's a guy that played linebacker in Denver. And when I was my last year in Denver, him and Gary Kubiak, were the two sort of assistant coaches that they hired that were former players. And they've been together for a long time. So yeah, I mean, I think on both counts, you could probably, with Dirty leaving and then also Clint Kubiak, I think you can find replacements that I think everybody'd be happy with. But just the way things are going right now, you don't want to disrupt the flow, man.
Yeah, it's going just fine. Let's not upset things here. All right, agents are in the spotlight in the NFL and college football world right now. We'll dive into how that impacts Seattle. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob, live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center at Seattle Sports on 710.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had like the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game to beat the Rams, and that place that night, Salt, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We've got a lot of restaurant recommendations for Rashid Shaheed, who joined us in the opening segment. In case you guys are just tuning in and missed that, again, it'll be on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. But as we are wont to do, we're taking restaurant recommendations for a new guy in town, guy who's not from Seattle, is not familiar. So he's saying he likes seafood, Mexican, and Italian. And we got a bunch of
Are you on that, Mike?
bunch of
Yes, I'll go eat at all those places. Oh, you mean my compiling the list? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll get right on that for you.
I like how Dave just sort of delegated that in the middle. Like, we take these all the time. I'll bring a list to you. Maybe Mike could do that.
Oh, yeah. How did I get tasked with this?
No, Mike's not doing anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just producing the show.
I'll see if I can help you out here.
All right, I appreciate you.
Yeah, the texters came through with a bunch of recommendations.
Okay.
You guys can still do that. 866-979-3776.
I'll work on it during the break. I'm being lazy. I really am.
Maybe Mike can do that. Meanwhile, taking a look at some agent news going on in the world of the NFL and college sports. First of all, Russell Wilson ditched his longtime agent, Mark Rogers, and it just makes me think of the professor. How happy would he be today?
Oh, that's right. He didn't get along with Mark Rogers.
He was not a fan of Mark Rogers.
He took every opportunity to take a shot at Mark Rogers.
Yeah.
Why? He's a baseball guy.
Yeah, and didn't he say
Baseball
something
guy.
to John about, like, oh, you don't understand what I'm trying to do? See, something that John took as a slight. And,
He dismissed John.
And he held on to that.
Yeah.
John was one to hold a grudge. He was.
Oh, yeah.
If you got on, you got on John's bad side. That was kind of it. That's where you remained.
Oh, I know. I'll tell you what, I loved the professor. We had a great, I remember one time he was like talking about, you and me, we've got great chemistry and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you feel that way, John, because I've seen when you don't like somebody.
Yeah.
It was, but I think it might have been warranted. There was kind of a little bit of back and forth there, and that happens. But I was shocked by this. Really, I mean that was.
Does it feel late in the game
move.
for him to be switching agents?
Yeah, it does.
Like you're at the end, man. I mean, I still root for Russ. I know that's not a popular thing these days, where it was blasphemy to say anything other than that years ago. But he said he fully intends to play next season, and he's prepping for free agency. He switched to Athletes First super agent David Mulugeta. I'm not sure how you say his last name, according to the NFLPA, but he's been with Mark Rogers since he entered the league in 2012.
Yeah, that I've heard his name before, Mugeta, but that is very, very strange that he would do that so late in the game. And the question here, how differently you think things would have played out over the last 5 seasons if he had done this earlier.
Yeah,
and maybe I don't know how much Mark Rogers, I think that he always wanted Russ to be something bigger.
Yeah.
That he wanted him to be like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or whatever. And, and just because remember, it was like whenever we talked about, where would they trade Russ to, or where would Russ want to go, it was always like New York. New Orleans was in there for some reason.
Probably because Drew Brees, and
yeah,
that was his guy.
Right. And then was Dallas part of it? I think it was like big media market.
I think Chicago was in there, weren't they?
Yes, Chicago was as well.
But he didn't want Philly because the word was they had a deal to exchange for Jalen Hurts.
Right.
And he didn't want to go to Philly.
There's so many what ifs.
Which I can't blame him,
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with hardcore media. Philly's not the stop you want to make.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting because I don't know. I mean, we talked about, and the thing I said about Russ, look, I love Russ. I think he's obviously the only guy that's won a Super Bowl here. And always respect him and everything. But I just, at that point, I thought he got too big for his britches.
Yeah,
and
he did.
Maybe that, and it didn't work out for him really in Denver at all, and it worked out great for the Seahawks. But there's just a huge what if there. Like, what if he had done this early on?
Yeah, he's 37.
Would he still be here?
Probably
idea.
not at this point, I wouldn't think. But he said that he couldn't envision any scenario in which he did not play this upcoming season, despite making career-low 3 starts, spending majority of the season as the Giants' third-string quarterback. As, quote, I'm not blinking. I know what I'm capable of. I think I showed that in Dallas. I want to do that again and just be ready to rock and roll, be as healthy as possible, be able to play ball. So, look, you always say play until you can't do it anymore. It's no good on the outside. So I don't
admire that about him.
Yeah, I don't blame any player saying, look, I love to – he doesn't need to play financially, but – if he wants to play, go for it, man. He'll have a job. He'll be a backup somewhere.
Well, and I imagine he didn't need to play like a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, he had enough money and everything that it wasn't going to be a problem.
Meanwhile, Damon Williams, we've been talking about him and everything that's going on with UW and him backing out of a deal he had signed 4 days previously to make a little over $4 million, saying he had to do what's best for his future. His agent bailed on him. Doug Hendrickson of Wasserman Football announced he is dropping Williams today. How about that? Just saying that they've got a philosophical difference. He's a talented guy. I wish him the best, but they have a philosophical difference. I'm not sure what that means. If that means he had no idea this was coming and the kid took to social media and said, I'm hitting the portal because somebody called my dad and said, we'll give you $6 million, so I'm on the move. I don't know. But it's rare for an agent to turn down certainty,
right?
Which is the cash that comes with wherever he lands,
right? Yeah, I mean, and it says more and more about Damon Williams. So yeah, it's just very.
He's getting some bad advice.
Yeah,
I don't know who's guiding him. If it's his dad, if he's got somebody, a mentor. I don't know. I feel like he's getting some bad advice here.
Yeah, it's kind of a parallel with Russ. I feel like that he is, getting who's
Trevor Moawad.
Trevor Moawad. Thank you. You knew exactly what I was going to say.
Yep.
The guy who was his advisor, because
it's kind of his touchstone. Everybody portrayed him as the guy that keeps Russ grounded and keeps him focused on the right things. And he passed away, and
Russ's dad had passed away, and before that, he was that guy. For his dad was so. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that that now this is, and there's just so much we don't know about like some of these agreements, and there's no regulatory commission, and it's like when this whole thing broke, I was like, oh well, he agreed to it, but he didn't sign it. Oh, he signed it.
Yeah, by all accounts, it's a signed deal. Real quick, I know we're up against the break, but I want to hear this cut from Bruce Feldman from The Athletic, and he was on with Bump and Stacy explaining why it seemed fishy that Damon Williams did this.
I wondered if it was somebody who isn't his agent who kind of drove this, because to me it just kind of seems really unusual that the agent who's worked with Jedd Fisch for a while and knows that this deal was agreed on would end up doing an end run and orchestrating a deal. That's the part where I'm like, that doesn't add up, that the agent who would just have done a deal 4 days ago or completed a deal 4 days ago would then turn around and try to work another deal that undermines it. To me, that part doesn't make sense at all.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. He's right. Agent puts in the work, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. We all agree. Here are the particulars of this deal, and then he's going to turn around 4 days later and go, hey, Damon, I got you a better deal over here at LSU.
Right.
I feel like he's getting, like I said, I don't know, family, friend, advice, whoever. Somebody's not working with him in the right way.
Yeah. Well, and that I'm not sure what's going on with his family or whatever. And we talked about Russ and how his father was like the guiding light for him, and who knows what's going on with Williams and his family.
The John Harbaugh sweepstakes took an interesting turn this morning. We'll explain how it affects the Seahawks and the rest of the league. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88 every morning at 7:45. Brock Ewart tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
So they got a bye week now, Brock. What do they do?
Obviously, you have the 4 opponents, Salk. You faced 3 of them this year and 2 of them twice this year. You're going to get to do a lot of watching and a lot of resting. And most importantly, these guys are going to get healthy, Salk. And I would expect when they do practice the following week, when we get an injury report, that it's going to be very, very light.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More fast internet speed.
He's got the gigs to go big, bring him the game.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop. His quantum fiber's on top. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The college football playoff isn't over. Not yet. That epic run, that wild dream, not over till the clock hits 0. Till the stadium shakes. Till the wild things are let loose. Till the trophy is lifted and the confetti falls. This is the national championship. When it's over, you'll feel it. This is the wild world of college football. The CFP National Championship, Monday, January 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Let's go!
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Washington Commanders cornerback Marshawn Lattimore was arrested in suburban Cleveland on Wednesday on a possible charge of carrying a concealed weapon, according to police records. He was arrested following a traffic stop. According to the police, he was booked into jail but later released. The matter remains under investigation. He was apparently carrying a 9mm Glock. Lists a second possible charge of improperly handling firearms in the motor vehicle. Meanwhile, Damon Williams Jr. has been dropped by his agent, Doug Hendrickson, in the wake of the former Washington quarterback's announcement he will enter the transfer portal. The quote from Hendrickson: "I have made the decision to end my representation of Damon Williams Jr. Effective immediately due to philosophical differences. Damon is an incredible talent, and we wish him and his family the best in their future endeavors."
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Coming up at 3:30, Ross Tucker will join us on the program. He of CBS Sports and the Ross Tucker podcast. So stick around for that at 3:30. We're done at 4:30 today for the college football playoff semifinal between Ole Miss and Miami coming up. So we'll turn you over to that at 4:30. We are live at the Virginia Mason Athletics Center. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You guys can weigh in on the coaching changes out there, the Seahawks, whatever's on your mind. Because there's another vacancy out there, Dave, that has been brought to our attention with the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel has been fired, the goofy little hipster. Mm-hmm. What was the thing he said the first time he came out? Something like, "I know what you're thinking. He's bigger than I thought," or something like that.
He is a tiny guy.
Yeah, he's a little dude. He's kind of quirky. You never watched the Hard Knocks with him, did you?
I saw some highlights from it. But
okay.
No, I didn't.
I think you would have liked him more. He's got a very dry sense of humor. He's a funny dude. But, yeah, he's been fired. And, you know, again, we talked about the news that Harbaugh's agent came out and said in the first 45 minutes after he was fired by the Ravens, I had 7 teams reach out to me. At the time, there were only 6 openings. And that included the team that let him go. So you're going, all right, so there's a team with a coach right now that is inquiring about him. It leads you to believe it's the Dolphins, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, and I think Harbaugh, I don't think he's going to have a hard time finding a job.
No, I think he can have any one of the openings that are out there currently, and if another one pops open and he hasn't signed anywhere, I'm guessing he's going to be a candidate there too.
Yeah, and Troy Aikman, is part of the
GM
search there. So, yeah, and I would think that anything would be, partnered up with John Harbaugh. I think that's by far the best choice out there. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, and this kind of leaking over to the Seahawks just because of Clint Kubiak being possibly. I don't think it's going to be a distraction. I really don't. But yeah, I mean that's just the way it goes in the NFL. It moves fast. Paul Moyer was out there. He's like, can you imagine if businesses went about it this way, as far as firing CEOs?
Oh, yeah.
Just the changeover, and a lot of it is just unrealistic expectations from, the owners.
Yeah. Or it's just the owners meddling too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's I don't know. It's you look at all of these situations where it feels like every other year there's a new coach, there's a new quarterback. Those are the two hardest things to land in the NFL.
Right.
Your coach that is your guy who's going to be there for the foreseeable future, and your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, and why does John Harbaugh have to suffer for a missed field goal? I mean, they're in the playoffs. Maybe he had made his mind up, or maybe it was going to be, okay, if, you get into the playoffs and Lamar Jackson can't win a game, and that's been the knock on him. Why can't you take this guy, over the top? Who knows what was the thinking there? But I would think for John Harbaugh, it's going to be he's a pretty easy sell.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that market develops, but I've got to imagine he's going to have his pick. Meanwhile, a video the Vikings made last summer for Jared Allen. Remember him, the pass rusher? He was a handful back in his day. They did a video for his Hall of Fame induction. Apparently, it's making the rounds again after he did an interview with Chris Long yesterday and brought up the same point he made in the video.
The reality is I hold the 23 sack record. It's 23. Not TJ Watt at 22 and a half at 17 games, and not Michael Strahan. It's facts for facts. It's on film. I sacked Aaron Rodgers. They took it from me on Wednesday and called it a team sack. But if you go back to that Monday Night Football game, Aaron Rodgers got the ball, went to step up in the pocket, drops the ball, picks it back up. He can still throw the ball. I chase him down, tackle him, sack. Give it to me. That's 2 sacks for the game. Wednesday, they take it back, called it a muff, and gave it a team sack. Well, I'm part of the team. I'm the one that physically tackled him, so I should at least get half of that, right? But yeah, if you go back and look, I physically sacked Aaron Rodgers for my 23rd, would have been my 23rd sack. I had 23 quarterback on the ground that year, and they took it from me.
Yeah, and then Aaron Rodgers, to his point, agrees with Allen that he should have that sack record.
Hey, Jared, it's Aaron Rodgers. You are the all-time single-season sack leader. I don't care what the numbers say, because that phantom bull sack they took away from you would give you the record. So in my book, and probably in most Vikings fans' books, you're the all-time single-season sack leader, my friend.
How about that?
Yeah, I like that Aaron Rodgers supporting him. Obviously, they're buddies. But
did you notice Jared Allen's video? He kind of threw in the, Strahan, this guy, T.J. Watt, 17 games.
Yeah.
I did it in 16, he did it in 17, and this was obviously before Myles Garrett did what he did over the weekend. This video. So yeah, I don't. What do you think? Were you just looking at the play?
Yeah, I did, and I mean, I'm on his side, and he doesn't come off as a whiny type of guy that's trying to, get his name back out there or anything. He's right. That's kind of bogus.
By the way, do you remember he was in the Jackass movie? No. You don't remembe that?
I don't know. But I saw the Jackass movie.
Well, there's three or four of them. But there was a thing where Johnny Knoxville is all in football gear, and they have Jared Allen just rushing him off the edge and just plowing him, just bending him in half. It was pretty funny. You'll probably be able to find it on YouTube there. I'm sure our listeners some of them have seen that scene, but yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to go quiet for about 10 minutes while I search.
Go search
Jackass.
for that. Go search for that. Meanwhile, we heard a good description of why Sam Darnold is well respected by his teammates. Talk about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
2025. What a ride.
The Seahawks win 38-37. It's Sauber with the 2-point conversion catch. Holy cow.
So glad we can get done at home in front of the 12s.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill, and we can't wait.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
This is where you hear it happen.
We've won so many different ways all year.
Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
I tell you what, you people out there with the perfect natural vision, you don't understand the frustration of those of us that have had to walk around with readers for years and years and years just to be able to read texts or menus or labels or whatever it is. It really is a pain in the backside. And if you add King LASIK to K2 Vision, that equals freedom vision for every stage of life. LASIK and EVO ICL from King LASIK gives you freedom from glasses and contacts. Refractive lens exchange, which I went through, from K2 Vision RLE adds on extra freedom from readers and cataracts. And it's one of the best decisions I've made in a very long time, maybe ever, when I went to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange because of what I just told you. I was just so tired of having to have a pair of readers at my side at all times just to read a text on my phone or read an email or read a label, a menu, a receipt. I was done with it. And I went in for the procedure, and it is night and day now. No longer have readers. They're all stuffed in a drawer somewhere, and it's just a different life. If you struggle with distance vision, perhaps, and now you need reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and permanent solution, and the best part is you'll never develop a cataract. With over 250,000 procedures done, Dr. Kopstein and Dr. King are two of the most experienced vision correction surgeons in America. So whether it's LASIK, EVO, ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors out there with all of the data to recommend the very best procedure for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today. Just go to K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Well, kind of similar to what you guys asked Rashid Shaheed about Sam Darnold, what stands out about him. Yesterday, Leonard Williams was asked about the trait that best embodies Sam Darnold's leadership.
To me, it's the way he works. You know, we talk about it. Sometimes we're flying on the plane and guys are hanging out and having a good time, shadow boxing, messing around. And, you know, you just see Sam and he's just sitting there watching film, taking notes. Like, he's studying up until the last second. And I think that's just the way he approaches work every day, and it's impressive.
His teammates sure love him, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
You know, that's really cool to hear, especially from a guy like Leonard Williams. Look, I don't think Sam Darnold is going to shake this thing about him not being a good quarterback until he wins a Super Bowl.
You think he's going to win one? Do you think if he goes out there and lights it up, gets him to the NFC title game? I think as long as he plays, he's not the reason they lose. Well, I think if he goes out there and he plays efficiently, plays well, he could shed it. I don't know. Maybe he does need to win. I think maybe he needs to get there. How about that?
Well, you know, now that I say that, I'm thinking a lot of people are going to qualify it by they had an unbelievably smothering defense, unbelievably good. And then let's say he goes out and has a game like he did on Sunday or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
No touchdowns, no interceptions. You know, maybe it's a 13-3 game, whatever. And you know, high completion percentage. What was he, like 75%?
He was 20 of 26 he was under 200 yards.
Yeah. If he has a game like that, they're just going to say it's like Trent Dilfer and playing for the
Ravens,
having a really good defense.
Yeah. Do you think Trent Dilfer feels always being the example of the team that won without a good quarterback?
That's a good point.
The team, you can win a Super Bowl. You don't need a star at quarterback. Look at Trent Dilfer. I mean, he's the first name that is always brought up as the example of a team that didn't have a great quarterback and won a Super Bowl.
Well, you got a Super Bowl ring and a lot of money, and you're probably just, I don't really care what the media says.
It's always him, though. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Sweeping the dial.
We heard some good insight from Julian Love yesterday about Mike McDonald. He also had a lot to say about the defense, how they're always ready, kind of pre-snap and that communication. And then he was explaining how the defense deals with offenses when they try to go up tempo.
That's been one of the ways people try to combat kind of our style of defense is tempo. Kind of getting on the line, trying not to let us get in the perfect play. That's just been a tool, but we've gotten really good at handling tempo, especially this year. Signals, communication, alerting things pre-snap, pre-huddle break. There's a lot of layers to it, for sure.
You know, when you hear Julian Love talk, does it not just give you ultimate confidence that your defense is going to be in the right defense, in the right situation? He's And, you know, for a
There's
guy...
there's no doubt in his voice. There's no hesitation. It's like, no, they do this. Here's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an incredibly smart football player. And
I'd like him to be a coach on the staff when he's done playing. And he's not even close to done because he's not nearly as old as he comes off. And I mean that in the best possible way. He
That's
seems
right.
wise beyond his years.
Don't they call him Obama or something like that?
I don't know.
He had all these nicknames because he is such a mature guy. And then, like, he's also one of those people. He has that quality. You know, you bring that up. Remember I talked about Pete Carroll and how you were the only guy in the room when you were talking to Pete Carroll?
Yeah.
That's Julian. Like, I did a long interview that ran on our show when we were in Green Bay. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was just right there the whole time, willing to do it, and just very focused on everything that's in front of him. But he's also one of those guys, a lot of times I will mistake him for Devin Witherspoon. You know, obviously they're number 20 and number 21, but like I'll see like a flash, and it used to be that way with Earl Thomas. I remember Earl Thomas, I would be like, wait, I got to run that back and see where did he come from?
Yeah.
You know, and how did he get there that fast? And he was just like a blur. Julian Love has that. And, you know, he talks about them going up against up-tempo type of teams. Like when you make plays and you're able to keep up with that, that means you just have a supreme understanding of what you're trying to get done defensively. And, you know, just having him as a leader on that team is just phenomenal.
Sweeping the dial.
So this was last night, before even the news today that Damon Williams' agent dropped him. But last night at SportsCenter, ESPN senior college football reporter Pete Thamel said this situation really just shows how toothless the NCAA is when they are supposed to govern and enforce things in this sport.
This moment in time here is a symptom of bigger problems all around the sport of college athletics. The NCAA technically is in charge of tampering. Tampering is so prevalent that there's really no way to enforce it. It's become a way of life, and recent legal rulings have even made it hard for the NCAA to enforce tampering. Tennessee took the NCAA to court within the last few months, and in the ruling and injunction there made it hard for the NCAA to enforce its own rules. So this is a complicated time. There's nobody really in charge, and everyone is looking at Damon Williams' situation for answers for the future of how college football works.
Yeah, do you think this is going to be the impetus for a lot of change and, you know, getting regulatory things done? I mean,
I think it's going to go one way or the other. It's either going to be that, or other players are going to go, worked for him. Talk to their agent, give me a better deal.
Right.
Can I get more money if I go to Oklahoma or LSU or Alabama? Okay, then I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I've said this before on the show. I said it yesterday, and it's one of my favorite quotes from my dad that, you know, things got to get worse before they get better, so they might as well hurry up and get worse. So I think that's where we're at. I think we're at the hurry up and get worse, and, you know, something like that has to change. I remember hearing Nick Saban talk about that last year during the bowl, and that there needs to be, you know, like a regulatory commission that actually has some teeth, and, you know, they need to fix college football but you know, I mean, you look at the fans and the stands and everything, like not at the bowl games, but the playoff situation, certainly, I mean, it's wildly successful.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
bringing in tons and tons of money.
Yeah.
But, you know, they gotta get some regulations where you can't just sign a contract. I mean, where has that ever been the case?
4 days later, go,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I'm going to go here. This is
I was
better
just
for
kidding.
me.
That's not my autograph.
Yeah.
There. It's crazy. Maybe this will be the turning point.
Meanwhile, he's one of the hardest working guys who cover the league, and we're going to catch up with former NFL O-lineman Ross Tucker. He's going to join us next as we continue live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had like the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game to beat the Rams, and that place that night, Salt, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, here's what you can look forward to when you get your windows replaced. The whole house being way warmer and a lot quieter. It's Dave Wyman here, and when we had finally had it with our old broken windows with broken seals, we called Harley Exteriors. And the guys came by, Nick and Ray, and they were incredibly friendly and professional and absolutely knew their stuff. In other words, people you want to do business with. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, and they keep heat in and noise out. Plus, they're truly beautiful windows. And I said to these guys, I said, you guys must have a different type of glass. And sure enough, it's their Olympic Series glass, which is manufactured here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. And Harley Exteriors has a special offer for Seattle sports fans right now. Buy one window and get the second one 40% off. No payments or interest until 2027, and they'll also take an additional $200 off your project. So call 833 Harley. That's 8333 HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. And if you're going to do it right with Harley Exteriors. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Avatar Fire and Ash has arrived.
I am the fire!
Get your 3D tickets now for the greatest chapter of the biggest saga in history.
Whatever happens, protect his family.
Critics rave it's by far the best Avatar movie.
If your father and I do not return, you go as far and as fast as you can.
Movies don't get any bigger than this. Avatar Fire and Ash, rated PG-13, now playing.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
I'm Chris Davis, former King County prosecutor and founder of the Davis Law Group in Seattle. If you've been injured in a crash caused by impaired or drunk drivers, there are special considerations that need to be taken to protect your legal rights. Davis Law Group's team of investigators and lawyers know how to properly investigate DUI crashes and identify all parties who might be legally responsible for your injuries and damages. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 or get my free book at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Finding great
candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, we all anxiously await the weekend events in the NFL to see who the Seahawks will be playing in their first matchup of the postseason, which will come up the following weekend. And a man who's got his eye on everything going on in this sport of the NFL. He was a former O-lineman. Now you hear him, you see him, CBS Sports NFL analyst. He's the host of the Ross Tucker podcast, and we've got him now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He is Ross Tucker. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you guys?
We're doing great. We're excited about what's going on here with the Seahawks, and anxiously awaiting the games this weekend to see who it is that they're going to play. But just want to get your take on what you've seen from the Seahawks team, what you've seen versus what maybe you expected at the beginning of the season. How different is it?
I would say pretty different. I certainly did not think the Seahawks would be the number 1 seed. I thought they'd probably be, I don't know, probably somewhat similar to what they were last year, maybe a little bit better. But this feels like everything they did this offseason worked. You think about Emin Worry and just how good he's been. Certainly DeMarcus Lawrence, I feel like he's played better than he did in Dallas the last couple years. Byron Murphy really took that next step, if you will. Offensively, I think I was skeptical that Sam Darnold could play as well in Seattle as he did in Minnesota. I didn't know if that was a one-year Kevin O'Connell thing or if he'd be able to kind of reproduce that. And then I don't know that anybody thought Smith and Jigba would make this much of a leap here in year 3. So it feels like a lot of things have gone right, have gone their way, and when that happens, that's when you have this kind of season.
Hey, Ross, we were just, it's always about the quarterback, right? And, Sam Darnold, I feel like he's not going to shake his past until he wins the Super Bowl. But then I was like, well, what if he has a game like he did against the 49ers where, he's around 75% completion percentage, under 200 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. I feel like he's a guy that, just the way that the way his season ended last year, but then also the first 4 or 5 years of his career, that he's going to have a hard time shaking that image.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, even just one playoff win and a berth in the NFC Championship game and hosting the NFC Championship game, that would be significant. Yeah. That would really be something. Just in terms of a step forward, I think people would feel like that was a major step because he's never won a playoff game. And even, like I said, just starting and hosting an NFC Championship game, even if they were end up lose to, let's say it's the Eagles or the Rams or whatever, I still think that would put him in a pretty darn good place, certainly better than it has been for him. I think people just, and this happens a lot, they're still kind of in believe it when I see it mode when it comes to him.
Hey, Ross, I want to get your take on this O-line, which you've got obviously an expertise in. You played it at the highest level for a number of years at the NFL level, and it feels like it's probably the most popular complaint amongst fan bases that, our O-line, we got problems. It's rare that you've got a 1 through 5 where everybody's a Pro Bowler, obviously, but I don't know how much you've had a chance to focus on the Seahawks O-line, but if so, what's your takeaway from what you've seen with them?
Well, I've certainly been impressed lately, and I think they have some really good pieces. I thought Gray Zabel was a terrific draft choice by John Schneider, and he's been exactly what they were hoping to get from him. Obviously, they feel really good about Charles Cross. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given him the contract that they just did. You can probably say the same about Abe Lucas recently and the deal that he got. Obviously coming back from injury. I think overall they have a solid offensive line. I think it's probably a better run blocking group than it is pass blocking. But I still think the thing I like about them is they're young. They should be able to grow together, and there's still some meat on the bone in terms of those guys getting better, which is really, really encouraging.
Hey, Ross, you playing, offensive line your entire career in the NFL. What do you think of this D line, man? I mean, if you had to pick, like, who's the most difficult to block, because there's a lot of choices there.
Well, that's the thing. I almost posted this Saturday night on my social media at Ross Tucker NFL when I was watching the Seahawks Niners, and just seeing the Seahawks fly around. Not necessarily, just the secondary or primarily the secondary, like it felt like with Legion of Boom, the original. But I was about to post Legion of Boom 2.0 because they were everywhere, flying around, lighting the Niners up. I mean, that score should not have been as close as it was. They beat the crap out of the Niners last Saturday night. To be honest with you, the only thing that gave me pause and why I didn't say Legion of Boom 2.0 is because I couldn't get it out of my head what the Rams did to them a few weeks earlier. I couldn't get out of my head, what Stafford and Puka Nacua did. And I thought, well, yeah, I can't imagine the original Legion of Boom, giving up 500 yards of offense and all that kind of stuff. So I think they're very good, and I think the D-line, they have really good players at all three levels. But the D-line in particular, to have, that many guys that are capable of winning one-on-one, difference-making players, is one reason why they have a legitimate chance to go to the Super Bowl and win it. I always think quarterback's the most important position, but I feel pretty strongly D-line is the second most important position. It's pretty hard to win a Super Bowl and win multiple playoff games unless you have difference-making players on your defensive line.
When you look at this team as a whole, comparing it to the Rams and the Eagles, everybody else in the NFC, where do you put them? Are they the best team in the NFC? Are they your favorites for the Super Bowl? How do you see it playing out?
Well, they're certainly my favorites because they're playing at home. They have the number one seed. They don't have to play this weekend. They have a bye. I really, in my head, the three teams I feel like have the best chance to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC are the Seahawks, Rams, and Eagles. The Rams have as close to a bye, I feel like, as you'll get, in an NFL playoff team going against the Carolina Panthers. The Seahawks actually have a bye. And the Eagles obviously have that heart of a champion Super Bowl pedigree. They rested all their guys last week. They should be flying around against a really beat-up Niners team. So I'd be surprised if any of those teams did not advance to the divisional round. I still think overall that the Rams are probably the best team. If this was a best of 7 in Wichita, Kansas, maybe I would take the Rams, but that's not how it works. They're going to have to go ahead and win 3 road playoff games, which is not easy. And we'll see. I mean, that Chicago-Green Bay game will have a lot to say about, who plays where in the divisional round.
Hey Ross, what about the other side, the AFC? We actually played the Jaguars, and they're playing really well right now. But it's pretty impressive what Denver is doing defensively. Who do you think is the real deal in the AFC?
So I said this on my show yesterday, I guess, the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. I think the winner of the Bills-Jags on Sunday is going to the Super Bowl. Those are my two favorites from the AFC. I think the Jags right now have the best team, and I think the Bills have the best player and the most playoff pedigree and experience, certainly with the way Josh Allen's capable of playing late in games. So in my mind, it's going to be a Jaguars-Bills, whoever wins that game, and I think it'll come down to the end and be an awesome football game. It's really a shame that they have to play against each other in the wild card round, because I feel like both of them would be capable of winning multiple playoff games and getting to the AFC Championship game. But I just call it a hunch or a gut feeling, but I think the winner of Jags-Bills is going.
NFL analyst Ross Tucker is our guest here with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. Ross, we were talking about this before, and I was asking Dave, he's a former player, what would be your mentality going into this, looking at, we don't know who the Seahawks are going to face. So we look at it as fans going, well, the easier route looks like the Panthers, looks like the Packers. The toughest route looks like the Rams. So fans want the easiest route to get there, certainly. But as a player, and you obviously competed at this level for a number of years, would you be the guy saying, you know what, give me the toughest team. I want that team. Or would you be going, no, I hope the Panthers win and we get them. What would your mentality be?
I think, when you're actually in it, my mentality would probably be, to be honest with you, I don't care. It's about us. It doesn't matter who it is. We're going to beat them no matter who they are. I think if you really pressed me on it, I would go player by player on the D line, and who had the better chance of making me look bad, and me not playing well. And I would not be one of those guys that, oh yeah, give me the best D line. No, thank you. Give me the worst D line possible. I prefer to go against normal human beings as opposed to monsters as much as possible. So that's the truth. Although, I don't know. I've talked to elite guys. I remember talking to a guy last year for the Chiefs, and I said, I think, it was Ravens, Bills. I said, who would you rather play? And he said, I don't care. It doesn't matter. He said, no, you know what? I want to play the Bills, because that was like the only team that had beat the Chiefs, And he wanted a chance to make amends for it. So, I don't know. He's a very good player, so maybe players like that have a different mentality. I was very average, so I did not want to go against really good players.
Hey, Ross, when you look at what all the firings, I mean, this happens every year. John Harbaugh was pretty shocking, but when you look at any ideas on who could be, because Clint Kubiak's being our offensive coordinator's being interviewed, and first of all, do you think it's a distraction or anything like that, and also, do you think Clint Kubiak, namely, is a guy that could be a head coach in the NFL?
Well, first of all, it's definitely a distraction. I mean, I always think it's laughable when people say it isn't. I mean, you're interviewing for a job that is what you have been working towards your entire life and would provide life-altering financial security for your family. To say that opportunity is not a distraction is comical to me. And I don't really know how they can fix it, but that's the issue, because you still have to prepare for the interview. Now, maybe you don't need to know their personnel in and out, but if you really want that job, you better impress them in that interview process. So I absolutely think it's a distraction. Now, the good news is for Kubiak or anybody for the Broncos is that they can prepare this week since they're not able to prepare for an opponent yet anyway. So for the interviews, it's very different, I feel like, for a Kubiak type than it is for like Jeff Halfley, the D coordinator for the Packers, who, he'll have some interviews next week. Now, if they lose, they'll be fine. But if they win, he can still do the interviews next week. That's rough. They're going to have a game to play, So I think Kubiak or like Davis Webb for the Broncos, I think those guys are in a better spot in the sense that, no game this week. They're not missing out on any preparation. But, yeah, it's absolutely a distraction. It'd be weird if it wasn't.
Hey, Ross, before we let you go, I know you got a lot going on with the Ross Tucker podcast, CBS NFL analyst. You got a lot of things going on. But what is it? I know you're doing some things to get kids more interested in the game. What are you doing with that?
Well, super passionate about this. I actually recently invested in the company. It's called futurefans.com. And anybody driving around or listening right now can probably relate. It's really difficult to get young kids to sit there and watch a whole football game with you now. I mean, it's just, they want to be on their iPad. They want to be doing other things. It's not really like what it was when we were growing up. I grew up outside of Philadelphia, and I distinctly remember every Sunday sitting there with my dad watching the entire Eagles game. I think he took out all of his life's frustrations on the television set, every Sunday at 1. But that was a shared experience, yelling at Izell Jenkins or Buddy Ryan or whatever. It was great. And the kids are just not experiencing that now. So that's why I'm so excited to partner up with futurefans.com, because these guys have really cracked the code on how to get a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old or a 9-year-old or whatever to really understand football to the point where they want to sit there and they want to watch the whole game with you. And now's the perfect time. I mean, it's the playoffs. The Seahawks are the number 1 seed. You got home playoff games coming up. It looks like they're going to be good for years. Now is the time. Now that the Seahawks are about to go on another run, now is the time to get your kids or your niece and nephew or your grandkids, get them involved. Get them so that they become lifelong Seahawks fans right now. Go to futurefans.com. Again, that's futurefans.com. I think it's like $60, but I'm sure if you go there's like an email discount. So, and the great part about it is your child or grandchild or whatever will think you're giving them a gift. The reality is it's kind of like you're giving yourself a gift, the gift of quality time with your child or grandchild, niece, nephew, whatever, for years and years to come. It's called futurefans.com. Go check it out, futurefans.com.
There you go. It's a cool initiative. Very cool. Futurefans.com. You can also check out the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. See his work, CBS Sports, NFL analyst. He's all over the place. And glad you were able to cut out a few minutes for us, Ross. Thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it. And hopefully you get a chance to talk again.
My pleasure, fellas. Anytime. Good luck. Hope you guys go on an extended run and enjoy it.
Thanks so much, man.
Thanks.
There you go. There's Ross Tucker, CBS Sports NFL analyst, host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, now part of futurefans.com to get your kids involved.
Yeah.
It is interesting. You have to create initiatives to get kids interested in football, because he's right. Like, certainly for you, I know when you were growing up, that was like a treat. That was, can we watch the game? I was the same way with baseball and football, and just I wanted to play it. I wanted to watch it. Nobody had to coerce me into it.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is, though, for me and my brother, we would only watch like maybe a half of football and then get all fired up and go out in the yard and start tossing the ball around. Or my brother would just knock the crap out of me because he was older and bigger. But yeah, it's kind of funny that he was talking about getting kids involved, because, I would always do these football analogies in my parenting with Jake and Kendall, and they're always like, Dad, not everything's about football. And I was like, yes, it is, damn it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You're here because of football.
So I love that. So that is cool. But I mean, when you're a kid, it's kind of that's tough to expect a kid to sit there for 3 hours and watch a game. But hey, as long as you're going out in the yard and playing football like we were.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, very cool thing. Futurefans.com for those of you who are interested. Our thanks to Ross Tucker. If you guys just tuned in, didn't catch all of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, we were talking to Ross Tucker, former O-lineman, and asked him about the Seahawks O-line, which seems to be gelling. It doesn't mean everybody's a Pro Bowler. And I don't know that that's ever a realistic expectation, but feels like they're finding their way through it. The run game has benefited the past 3 weeks. We've talked about the numbers they put up with the running attack. Yeah. And we talked to Steve Wyche about it yesterday, and he explained why the Seahawks, in his opinion, should feel optimistic about their O-line right now.
They're playing on a thread. With that zone run scheme, you have to have all 5 guys, or if you're including tight ends, 6 guys playing on a thread. And that's what they've been able to do. They may not necessarily be physically dominant, but technique-wise and some of the things they do, they're doing them the way they're coached to do them. Kenneth Walker's vision and Zach Charbonnet's vision in the run game is excellent. You even saw that on Charbonnet's touchdown run last week, how he just saw it and went. So the fact that all of those factors are working together in unison at the right time, I think should be incredibly encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great timing. I would just say a little complaint. I thought it was going to happen earlier, but I didn't expect them to go for 107. I wasn't asking for that. It's like maybe 125 to 150 a game. They're averaging 171, I think it is, the last 3 games. So, yeah, I love it, and the way that they've gotten it together. When I think about some of those runs, and one of them, they had back-to-back runs, interrupted by a 3-and-out that the Seahawks defense got. But in the first quarter, Charbonnet with the 27-yard touchdown, and then defense goes 3-and-out, and then the very next play on offense is K9. Running up the middle. And one of the things that impressed me the most was seeing Jalen Sundell get up on the linebacker and 5-6 yards downfield. And, and it just created what I call like a broken picket fence. You want to build a fence defensively and you want everybody at the same level. Well, it's a picket fence that goes, you got one guy here, there's another guy that's 5 yards away that's taking on a block, and there's lots of room in there for K9 to run. So, and the fact that it's Jalen Sundell that I think got the key block on that, he's not one of the guys we talk about, right? I mean, he's not one of the guys that's, we say we probably have 3 really solid offensive line. There's some question at right guard and center, and for him to get that block, and then Anthony Bradford, just kind of have to take him for what he is. And, on that play, he had a good block. So, yeah, they're creating all kinds of space, but it's good timing. I'm just nitpicking here because I really wanted it to develop a little bit earlier, but they got 14 wins, man.
Yeah.
They got 14 wins
in spite of that.
And it's coming together.
Well, and we were talking, how many conversations did we have where we're looking at it and go, man, they ran, I don't know, I'm just 26 times 50 yards and going, and we were having the thought of, should we just accept that this is who they are? That they're just, the idea that they're going to get better probably isn't realistic. You're kind of a formed offense at this point. This is just who you are. What you do well is what you do well. What you struggle with is what you struggle with. But they kind of bucked that trend. I mean, in these last 3 games anyway, they've gotten decidedly better. So
yeah, and that 49er run defense was good.
Yeah,
they were number 6 as far as stopping the run. So it's not like they're getting it done against Little Sisters of the Poor. So, I mean, I know that's a banged up defense now, especially, but
Seahawks banged them up more.
Yeah, definitely did.
One more from Steve Wyche before we break here. He looks at some of the blemishes of the other O-lines in the NFC.
They're no worse than any other team, especially in the NFC. I mean, you look at the Bears, their offensive line is really good in terms of running the football, but pass protection-wise, they're not dominant. The Rams' offensive line is pretty good in their pass pro. They're pretty solid. But when you look across the board from the Packers, we see the 49ers with Trent Williams, they'll be better, but that's not a great team. The Eagles are getting Lane Johnson back, but that group hasn't played. I mean, even look at, the best offensive line we've seen in years in Detroit. That was a weak spot for them this year. So it's injuries, it's what offensive coordinators may be trying to do to hide certain things that are becoming more exposed because defenses are catching up.
Yeah. So Seahawks are not alone in, again, complaints about this guy's not as good as he should be. That's going to be true of every line in this league.
No question about it. Yeah, nobody does it. I remember a few years ago, Dallas had like all 5 guys.
Yeah, they were the envy of the league, but that was sort of an aberration.
That was one team.
Yeah. Everybody else has got, hey, this guy's great. This guy, we got some concerns with this spot. So we'll see how it breaks out. But the last few weeks have been very, very promising. Meanwhile, a lot is at stake for the Seahawks in the playoffs, but perhaps even more so in the case of 4 players. We'll tell you what we're talking about coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
2025. What a ride.
The Seahawks win 38-37. It's Sauber with the 2-point conversion catch. Holy cow.
So glad we can get done at home in front of the 12s.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill, and we can't wait.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
This is where you hear it happen.
We've won so many different ways all year.
Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Sometimes we hang on to our old attorneys and coaches too long. They've been around, they've done good work. But when the legal game changes, you need a team that is hungry to win now. At Bible Law Group, we're that faster, hard-hitting legal team, ready to fight for every inch in the courtroom. With over 40 million closed for our clients, we know how to win, and we're ready to take on the biggest legal case of your career with you. Don't stick with a playbook that's gone stale. Switch to the legal team that's ready to win now. Let Bible Law Group be your linebacker in the courtroom. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and I did used to wonder, do I have enough to retire? Am I missing something? Because I do want to retire, and I'd like to do it sooner rather than later, and I'd love to really enjoy my retirement. I'd love to travel. Well, I don't worry anymore. I don't wonder anymore. I met Trajan Wealth, and now I have answers and a real plan. They're not just advisors, they are fiduciaries, and they treated me like family. So take some of that stress off your shoulders. Call Trajan Wealth and get your plan started today. They'll take the time to determine your own risk tolerance level, along with learning about your goals and your timeline. Working with you, they'll develop a wealth management plan that reflects your values. So call Trajan Wealth today at 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300, or go to TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com. Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER. for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to Upside.com for terms and conditions.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, Damon Williams Jr. has been dropped by his agent, Doug Hendrickson, in the wake of the quarterback's announcement that he will enter the transfer portal. Hendrickson posted on social media his quote, "I have made the decision to end my representation of Damon Williams Jr. effective immediately due to philosophical differences. Damon is an incredible talent, and we wish him and his family the best in their future endeavors." And this comes on the heels of Williams announcing Tuesday he would enter the portal just days after he signed a contract in the mid-$4 million range to return to the Huskies for the 2026 season. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. Meanwhile, Commanders cornerback Marshawn Lattimore has been arrested in suburban Cleveland yesterday on a possible charge of carrying a concealed weapon. According to police records, he was in the midst of a traffic stop. He was booked into jail but later released. He was apparently carrying a 9mm Glock. They have that there and lists a second possible charge of improperly handling firearms in a motor vehicle.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We continue live from the Virginia Mason Athletics Center. A reminder, coming up at 4:30, we will turn you over to the college football playoff semifinal between Ole Miss and Miami. That'll be coming your way, so just have a seat and enjoy that one. Do you have any rooting interest in the college football playoffs, or you
really?
You don't care?
Not really. Is Stanford in it?
They didn't quite
make it.
Didn't get there.
Yeah.
Boy, they were close.
I'm kind of fascinated by Indiana and just how quickly they rose up to be, an undefeated team, and then their coach.
You love him. Yeah. Google him, Dave.
I win.
Google me.
I win. I love that. Yeah, he's just kind of odd. He looks like he maybe rubs people the wrong way, but I did Google him, and he wins, Bob.
He wins.
He wins.
He wasn't lying.
Yep.
All right. Well, that'll be coming your way at 4:30, so stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, you got the Seahawks 2022 draft class. You got some key names that are going to be free agents at the end of the year. And Boye Mafe, Ken Walker, Reek Woolen, Kobe Bryant. Looking at that group, I'm curious where you were at coming into the season in terms of your view of them.
Yeah.
Now we're at the end of the regular season. Where are you at? How much has it changed with those guys?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's changed on two players, Boye Mafe and Ken Walker. I think those, I've kind of been up and down with Reek Woolen. I'm definitely up on him right now, but there was a point where he wasn't, and it goes into last year where he got benched before, for a series or two. And then I think Trey Brown gave up a touchdown. I think it was against the Cardinals last year. But, yeah, I mean, I think things have changed for me with Kenneth Walker because, you know, he looks like a guy that if you just give him a little bit of space, he's going to find somewhere to run. And I was talking about the broken picket fence earlier, and that's where he excels. I think he's better as an inside zone runner where, you know, he can find those little spaces, you know, in between that are not just horizontally, but depth-wise. And, you know, so my opinion of him has definitely increased, and I would say Boye, it's kind of gone down a little bit. You know, I think and I love Boye Mafe. He's got one of the best laughs ever when we interviewed him earlier this week. But
that's not going to help him win games.
It's not gonna help. It's just a side note. But yeah, they tried to trade him.
Yeah.
We found that out right after the trade deadline. So, and I think one of the knocks on him is that, you know, he maybe doesn't work as hard on the, you know, first down, second down, run type of downs. And then, you know, he wants to be there for the pass rushing downs,
for the
third
sack.
downs. Yeah. So, you know, and I think maybe that's been a little bit of a problem. He hasn't been excelling at, you know, the first down, the second down. But, and then with Rick Woolen, you know, actually it has just been up and down with him. And I would say the same thing with Boye. A couple of years ago, I thought Boye was going to have a breakout year last year.
Yeah.
And he really didn't. And then with Reek, I mean, we loved him right away, right? I mean, his rookie year, he gets 6 interceptions. Really could have had 8. Thought he could be defensive rookie of the year. And then, you know, it kind of got quiet. And then there was kind of, you know, some times where, you know, like you said, he got benched and whatever. But now, I think he's playing good football right now.
Yeah.
I think he's, you know, a lot of it is you don't hear his name called because he's not getting beat, but also you just see like the open field tackle that he had on third down the other night was phenomenal. And yeah, and I just think also I have to say I'm a sucker for a corner that's built like that.
Yeah.
The long arms,
6'4", blazing
6'3",
speed.
6'4", yeah, and in vertical and everything. I mean, he's got all the right tools, and you know, and you could see that Mike kind of is too. Mike McDonald, he spent a lot of time with Rick Woolen. So yeah, my you know, just trying to encourage him and, you know, make sure that he's on the same page. And I think some of it for him was a little bit focus, you know, and I think Mike's got him on the right track. So. I love that. But right now, you know, Boye Mafe, I mean, just the fact that they were thinking about trading him is kind of tells the tale there.
It's interesting that he's not excelling in this defense because it feels like everybody is. Like this, you got a defensive mind. You got a defensive focused head coach there who knows what he's doing, and it's a very successful defense. You look at his numbers. You know, his rookie year, he had 3 sacks in 17 games. The next year, he had 9 sacks. In 16 games, we're going, oh man, he's just scratching the surface. What was it, 7 games in a row with at least a sack? So, and then the first year with Coach McDonald, 6 sacks. Okay, he missed a couple games, played 15. Played all 17 games this year, 2 sacks.
Yeah,
and it's not all about sacks. It's obviously about creating pressure and disruption and everything. But just interesting to see the tackle numbers go down. It's his. If we're just going stat-wise, it's been his least productive year. 2 sacks, 31 tackles in total, and he did it in a full season. Those are both career lows.
Well, and I would say also, and maybe it's because of his play, that the number of snaps that he's getting has kind of gone down. Now, that's also because of your rotation of having DeMarcus Lawrence come in, having Uchenna come in, Derek Hall. So, but, you know, you mentioned the tackle numbers, and I feel like that should be a little bit higher. You got to get better at playing the run and just be a more well-rounded player. I'm curious what they think about Kenneth Walker and whether or not they'll extend him. But the other guy we didn't mention is Kobe Bryant, and I don't know, man. I'm really comfortable with Kobe. I think he's great. I think he's a huge part of this defense.
It's a bummer that he's hurt.
Yeah.
He's.
Really
I feel like he's really shown what he means to this defense and what kind of impact he can have. Just a bummer that he's been hurt. But K9 is interesting just because, you know, I don't know, the running back position is odd. It just feels like it's treated as very disposable, very interchangeable. Like, we'll get a guy. You never. I mean, John took some heat for back-to-back years, taking a running back in the second round in back-to-back years. Took Ken Walker, then took Charbonnet, both second-round picks. But it's his first year going over 1,000 yards since his rookie year. He did it his rookie year, then went 905 yards in his second year, just 573 yards last year. He had only played in 12 games because of injury, and then this year he was there for all 17, went over 1,000 yards, and tied his career high in terms of average per carry at 4.6. So he definitely showed what he's capable of doing. And I don't know what kind of value that has to them, if they feel like, yeah, he's a guy we can't afford to let go, or yeah, we can find running backs. We're fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Seahawks in particular view it, because it feels like the league has really devalued that position.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at what their franchise tag number is.
Yeah.
It's like second lowest, I think.
Yeah.
Tight ends maybe the lowest, other than kicker, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think that he's shown a lot, and this is another one of the reasons why Clint Kubiak, I think, is so instrumental, and don't want to lose him. By the way, Ross Tucker just entirely opposite of what I said. I don't think it's going to be a distraction.
Yeah.
And you know what? Once he started laying down all of the reasons why it is a distraction, I was like, oh, he's right. I mean, talking about setting your family up for the rest of their lives, those kinds of things. So, but anyway, I think K9 seems to work, but so does Charbonnet. I mean, Charbonnet, and I can't really say one is better than the other at anything specific. But yeah, they both have. I was so impressed by that touchdown that Charbonnet scored, just because, just the instincts there.
Yeah.
I remember when he was drafted, there was a time he was running. They were playing. I think they were playing Colorado. He put like 5 moves on the safety and finally got the right one that he wanted as he was approaching downfield. And he's just got a real. And I'll bet you he couldn't tell you the thought process. It just happens with him. And for him to slow down and just get that DB to slow down and, kind of widen his stance a little bit, and it just gave him just enough to get past. So impressed by that. So, yeah, I mean, both of those guys are good in different ways, but I don't think that there's anything specific that's different about them that you can say, oh, yeah, that's his style or his style. So they both run well.
I had this list that I showed you guys yesterday. I think it was Chad Forbes put out the top 101 free agents for the upcoming offseason. And there are those 4 names that we just talked about, all are on that list.
Yeah.
And then he ranked them. He's got Rick Woolen at number 6.
That doesn't surprise me.
Number 6. And then Boye is number 12.
Yeah.
Ken Walker, number 33. And Kobe Bryant, number 74. So just an outsider's view of their value.
I think Rick Woolen, for all the reasons that I just stated, I think everybody's going to be a sucker for that. If he wasn't a good player, he is a good player. But trying to find getting a corner like that. Remember when Schneider? I remember him saying one time, because everybody was like, "Oh, well, John likes these tall, fast guys." I was like, "Doesn't everybody?"
Yeah,
long arms, and he's really fast.
That can cover and yeah.
So and that was really that came about because of Richard Sherman, and Sherman didn't have like blazing speed, but he was such a smart player. Right spot.
Browner on the other side was a tall guy too.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't have the speed either, but he was incredibly physical and he was tall.
Right.
So yeah, they had a matching set there for a while until he went away, and they had Maxey, they had Byron Maxwell, Walter Thurman, they had others occupy that spot. But of these 4, you think they re-sign 2 of them?
Yeah, I mean,
3 of them.
Who would be the one you would leave out? I mean, obviously, Boye.
I'm kind of with you on Boye.
Yeah,
I like him. I think he's a nice piece to have, and if he's not going to cost you a ton, then I would certainly love to have him back. But I don't think you can say we're building around him. He's not. He's not a pillar. He's not. He's just a nice piece to have with you. He's a good player. But
is there anybody there that would make you like? Who you would put in place of? Like, who would you put in place of Kobe Bryant? I mean, is Ty Okada played well enough to?
I like Ty Okada. I think Kobe Bryant's better when he's
I do too. Yeah,
I think he's better. I'm actually surprised that in the ranking he's the lowest.
Yeah.
Of this group. Reek's kind of turned me around again because loved him in the beginning. Then we had a couple years where we're going, I don't understand what's happening. He's not ascending anymore. I don't know what's going on with him. And now he's kind of played up to his potential, it feels like, or much closer to it anyway. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm a little confused by Reek.
Yeah.
Like I love the intent. I love what all the physical attributes he's got. We've seen him make the plays. We've seen him excel. It's kind of like Anthony Bradford. All of the physical tools are there. It's, can you put it together? Can you be that guy that does it play after play after play, and not just, oh wow, did you see what he did on this play?
Yeah.
What the hell happened on this play? You know.
Yeah, and I think Mike McDonald's been a tremendous help to him.
Yeah.
And I would say if there was any other coach, I might go, yeah, Reek, I can understand why he's number 6 on that list. I mean, this is more about, being an attractive candidate, than it is anything else. But I think without Mike McDonald, you'd probably go, yeah, this guy's expendable.
Who's if you could only take one? You said you got to bring this guy back.
Man,
I think a couple of these guys will come back. I think 2 of the 4.
I guess right now, I mean, it's recency bias. I go with Ken Walker.
Yeah.
Just because of how well the run game's going right now. But I guess Boye, look, part of it is all the things that I just mentioned, but also the fact that they were going to trade him and it just couldn't get a deal done. I think the writing's on the wall on that one.
Yeah. Is it which are the easiest to replace? Because I like Ken Walker too. I've always been a little more partial to him than Charbonnet. I think they're very close and they do different things, but I feel like it's easier to replace a running back than it is a corner. To find that corner that you feel like I can leave him on an island, they're going to be okay. Now I don't know if we're there with Reek yet. Thought we were headed that way, took a turn. Now it feels like it's coming back again. But which version are you getting? Not sure. But I just think that's a harder position to find the guy, if you will, because I think Ken Walker's a good running back. I don't put him up there with Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry or those guys. So
or Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, I just Taylor. He's kind of the next rung down from those guys.
Yeah.
So to me, and maybe I'm underselling him. I think that's an easier spot to replace. If they re-sign him, I'll be, hey, awesome. I like him. But is he a guy that you're building around? Is he a guy you look at as, hey, this is a talent you don't find very often?
Yeah. Where are you on Kobe Bryant?
I want Kobe to come back.
Yeah.
If he can be healthy, like I said, I'm surprised he's the lowest ranked of this group because I'd probably put him second.
Yeah.
I'd probably put him and Reek Woolen up there just based on how often are you finding studs at those spots as compared to how tough are they to replace
as compared to running backs.
Yeah, I just think
Kobe Bryant has,
now here I am devaluing the running back position.
Yeah, you're the reason. Kobe Bryant has made a couple of plays that are pretty amazing, and one of them was the deflected interception that he got, and it didn't entirely go off. And I'm trying to remember which game that was. It was somewhere in the middle of the season. How about that? But yeah, it was a receiver went off his hands, and he just quickly reacted and caught that ball.
It was kind of midfield.
Yeah. It was an amazing play, and that takes a lot of skill to do that, and that's a lot of work as well. So, yeah, I mean, and I think he's kind of an unsung hero. He means a lot more than I think people think. So,
yeah. Do you have a sense though that they're gonna keep 2, 3? Do you think they'll try to go after all 4? I mean, some of it's going to depend on the draft and free agents out there, other free agents, maybe there's somebody available that they like better. I don't know, but
yeah, they could. I mean, and they've got some, you got Pritchett, but I love Josh Jobe. I think Josh Jobe has really kind of flown under the radar. And that's a John Schneider special. Picked him up off of a practice squad. So in Philly. So, maybe that it comes down to that, like which of these. I mean, I do think that corner, finding I don't know what you call a lockdown corner, but a good corner like that is pretty hard to find.
Yeah, yeah. We got text coming in. 360 said Bryant and Woolen, when healthy, can play every down and special teams. Mafe and Walker split time with others.
Yeah,
fair point. Joe in Bellevue saying, do we have a concern with Reek that he won't be as motivated after he gets his money? I don't know. I guess that's a question for anybody. Do you think his issues are motivation? Lack of focus.
I think it's lack of focus. I don't think it's that. And here's the other thing. People always think, not every player goes that way. Like, I got all my money. I'm going to chill. I'm going to shut it down. A lot of people get better. We talked about that with Cam Chancellor. And not that I thought Cam was, ever anything other than a just excellent player, but it just seemed to kind of, I don't know, maybe it's one less thing to think about for Rick Woolen. You get that and you go, okay, not only am I set here for the next few years, but also I know that the team believes in me, and maybe that makes him rise up and be a better player. I think it could go that way with Reek.
Yeah, I guess it's up to the coaching staff to figure out what they think the issues are. Like, how would you explain the inconsistency? How do you explain where he was at, where you decided to put him on the bench? And we even talked to Brady Henderson, who talked to us earlier this year about, if not for these injuries, he wouldn't be starting. So how does he go from that to where he looks like, hey, this guy's making some nice open field tackles, and he's looking more like the guy you thought he could be? What changed? Yeah. And is there concern on their part that can we get him to be this guy week in, week out?
Yeah.
And the same is true for Bradford. He's not part of this class, but same type of player in that he has those moments. As much as fans love to rip the guy, if you're going to watch every play the way a lot of people seem to, then you're going to see some phenomenal plays from this guy.
Yeah.
You are going to see some bad ones. There's no doubt. Why is it that way? Why is it so extreme?
Yeah, and you have to accept it. I was saying this earlier to Mike that Sean Alexander and Bobby Wagner are two of those, and maybe my complaints about Bobby were a little bit more, pronounced just because I played that position. But Bobby is just phenomenal linebacker, right? But you have to live with him going under blocks every once in a while. And you have to live with him jumping the short stuff, playing a hunch and ball goes sailing over his head. Sean Alexander, another one who you couldn't put him out on the field on third down, because everybody knew he wasn't going to block and he really wasn't a pass catcher. Mm-hmm. So, and then he would run out of bounds a lot of times to try to avoid contact. So, and I remember Paul Moyer saying to me, don't criticize him for what he's not. He's just not that guy, So, I think it's similar in that you just have to say, hey, this is who he is. He's going to have 4 or 5 plays that are, I want to say, comical, honestly. I do.
At the time, they're not funny. But when they win, you can laugh.
You're right. You're right about that. I saw him jog past a corner, and he was just jogging and didn't even think to, just throw one of your, 50-pound hands out and just knock him down. I mean, he's not good in space, but if you put him in a phone booth, he's going to kill the other guy. Kill him. And I don't care who it is. So, I mean, that's just one of those things you have to live with. And I'm obviously talking about 2 tremendously great players in Bobby Wagner and Sean Alexander. But, those are some of the things that, and there was obviously way more good than bad as it is with Anthony Bradford. But it just kind of came to mind because, you can't sit there and criticize those plays that are going to happen no matter what. Just accept it.
Yeah. Well, and it's, as we talked about, even with Russ back then, the cost of doing business. He's going to keep some plays alive. He's going to be back there running around and whirling dervish and find Doug Baldwin or find Tyler Lockett. And it's going to be amazing. He's also going to have those moments where he's doing that and he takes a 12-yard sack.
Right.
So every player has a level of cost of doing business. You just got to figure out, is it too punitive? Is that cost too high on these plays? Is it quarterback taking a beating, what have you? So
that's like Michael Bennett jumping off sides.
Exactly
cost
right.
of doing business.
Yep, that's exactly right. All right, that's going to do it for us. Our thanks to Rashid Shaheed and Ross Tucker. If you missed any part of the show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. You've got college football playoff semifinal action coming up next. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob.
88. Every morning at 7:45, Brock Ewart tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
So they got a bye week now, Brock. What do they do?
Obviously, you have the 4 opponents, Salk. You faced 3 of them this year and 2 of them twice this year. You're going to get to do a lot of watching and a lot of resting. And most importantly, these guys are going to get healthy, Salk. And I would expect when they do practice the following week, when we get an injury report, that it's going to be very, very light.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
We are well into the rainy season, Seattle, but it's not too late to get your roof replaced. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off your roofing project this winter. Our certified technicians build a custom plan for your home, ensuring a worry-free installation even in the winter months. Replace your roof now while material prices are low and lead times are short. Stop wasting your time on costly repairs and Band-Aid fixes. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today and secure your $500 discount. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Are you tired of grilling in the cold and rain every winter? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry, even in the cold winter. Take advantage of off-season savings through February 15th, and you can get up to 10% off your entire project, plus 12 months with no payments and no interest. You see, most people don't consider building a deck in the winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming and designing your project so you're ready to build by spring. Planning and permits, they take a little time, so get started now. Get project ideas, browse the photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. That's my friends online at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home, thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates demonstrates honesty and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho! And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company, Pure Talk.
He's improved quite a bit since that game. And to me, that's no advantage there.
Last question, Coach. What would it mean to play for a national championship?
Well, I don't want to get too far out in front of myself here. This is going to be a great football game and a tough challenge. So, whoever wins is going to move on and have one to go.
And his counterpart, Dan Lanning, and the Ducks certainly hoping to make like that October 11th loss of the Hoosiers was like it never even happened. Brought to you by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration. We are coming to you from the Allstate Studio. College Football Live presented by LinkedIn Jobs. Miami began the season with a win over number 6 Notre Dame, kicked off a 5-0 start. Along the way, overcame losses to Louisville and SMU, saving their best for the best competition, 3-0 against top 10 teams. He played at Miami from 89 to 92. Canes won national titles in 2 of those seasons. Mario Cristobal looking to get the school back to the mountaintop this year. The Canes coach with our Chris Budden.
You said earlier this week that the first 4 to 5 games of the season, your team wasn't prepared for the success. How is this team different now?
Well, I think approximately 67, 68 days ago, that feeling that we had in the locker room when we left SMU is a jolt that helped us to prepare for our next go-around, which is now, and having more success than ever. Take it for granted, but making sure that feeling just drives you to have the energy on a daily basis to take care of business.
Defense of yours has been a cornerstone. What are the challenges, though, that this quarterback, the way that he extends plays and the pace of which they play will challenge your guys?
Yeah, they challenge you in every way imaginable because they are really explosive, really fast, and they have playmakers at every position. And they get downhill in the run game. I don't think they get enough credit up front for what the work that their offensive line does. But you're right. I mean, the pace is fast. And you have to find a way to get them off schedule because if not, they can certainly, they could take that number count and make it really high.
Finally, what are some of the things that you have emphasized to Carson Beck this week that will be important come game time?
Cut it loose and have fun. He's an extremely smart guy with a super high care factor, an elite competitor, elite player, and teammate for us. So, you know what? Be him. Go out there and be him.
Good luck.
Thank you. Go Canes.
All right, let's bring in another former Canes player, Bryant McKinnie, playing offensive line for Miami from 99 to 2001, part of the last Miami National Championship winning team in 01. Bryant, what does it mean to have an ex-player like you have the Canes back on this stage again?
It actually means a lot because it's been like 20 years.
Yeah.
So to be back in this position, it means a lot. Especially like for me, for my era, a lot of guys kind of used to love and hate to use. So it was hard to trash talk because we had been down for so long. So to be back in the playoffs and now we're in the semifinals and one game away from playing back in Miami, it feels great.
You were part of the last national title winning Canes team in 01. With regards to what these players have in front of them, what can you share about what it felt like to win that national championship in 01?
It's a great feeling, but that whole national championship run for us in 01 started back at the end of our season in 2000 is because of, us not getting into the national championship game because of the BCS, and then us actually, winning our Sugar Bowl against Florida, and then kind of relying on Florida State to beat Oklahoma, and it didn't happen. So if they would have won, we'd have put the national championship. So going into that following off season, everything was about controlling your own destiny and not having to rely on anybody else, and that was kind of what everybody bought into, and we were able to go out and accomplish that.
Can you see similarities, Bryant, in this year's team and your national title winning team?
Yeah, I feel like they had like a little hiccup, little 2 hiccups in November, but I feel like after that they kind of regrouped and kind of refocused and are playing really great football right now. And I feel like especially starting in the trenches, the O-line and D-line, I feel like the D-line is playing great. I mean, you see Bain is disruptive, and then there's another guy, I think, defensive end, very disruptive and causing like a lot of havoc in the backfield. And then the O-line is actually able to run the ball and open up holes and everything too. So it all kind of starts up front, and I feel like they're doing a great job doing that.
This proud program, has had some lean years, but what can you say about what Mario Cristobal's impact has been on this school?
I've always said, give him, 3 years to kind of get us back in the direction, and by year 4, we should be kind of in position, because that now year 4 is all his guys, and this is year 4. And look at the position we're in now. We're in the semifinals. People were in such a rush. As soon as he gets in there, they say year 1 or 2 is with the change, but you still have to bring his recruits in and kind of filter out the old guys who may have had an old mentality or old ways about themselves, and now everybody kind of under his regime. So that's what we have right now, and that's why we're in the position we're in. We are coming to you from the All-State Studios. Coming up next on College Football Live, presented by LinkedIn Jobs, the Canes and Rebs, one win from reaching the national championship. It's kickoff from Glendale. You're listening to the College Football Playoff semifinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
At Wrangler, we know the essential question for any guy is, can I go like this? It could be date night, boys' night, work, or your nephew's school play. It could be anything. And the last thing you want to do is change. That's why Wrangler makes jeans, shirts, jackets, and tees that answer yes to life's essential question. You can go in Wrangler. Check out our latest styles today at Wrangler.com. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs, and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
Rich Eisen here. Hiring for your small business can feel like a full-time job, but LinkedIn Jobs AI Assistant takes the heavy lifting out of it. It filters applicants based on the criteria you set and suggests 25 great fit candidates daily, so you can invite them to apply and keep things moving. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen, then promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI Assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
The NFL playoffs are here, and it all starts with Wild Card Weekend powered by Verizon.
Man, it all comes down to this.
12 teams, 6 games, 3 days, and one epic weekend.
My goodness!
It's win or go home, and every moment counts on the road to Super Bowl 60.
It's a touchdown!
Wild Card Weekend powered by Verizon. January 10th through 12th. Visit watch.nfl.com for the full schedule.
people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
You're listening to the College Football Playoff Semifinals at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
The new era of college football has arrived. So while you're celebrating new conferences, new playoff formats, and an all-new season of Fansville, grab some ice-cold Dr. Pepper from your local retailer all season long. College football, it's a Pepper thing.
We are coming to you from the All-State Studios. Jim Basketball back on College Football Live, presented by LinkedIn Jobs. Kickoff for Miami and Ole Miss moments away. They are two teams many never expected to be here. Now, just one win from a national championship. For the call, Miami and Ole Miss. Let's send you to Glendale with our team of Ian Fitzsimmons, Chris Budden, Kelly Stauffer, and Mark Kestisher.
Jim, thank you very much, and we welcome everybody to the Southwest United States, where for the fourth time, this great building is hosting, three times previously, the BCF College Football Playoff Championship game. It was actually 3 years ago, the last time they had a semifinal when TCU outlasted Michigan. And Kelly Stauffer, we had a chance to walk the field about a half hour ago and to see all these Ole Miss fans who've made their way from the great state of Mississippi, and all the Miami fans who don't need to make any travel plans if their team wins today, because the national championship is in Miami on Monday the 19th. But so much at stake, two great stories, and going head-to-head here in this semifinal, as Jim mentioned, not many of us thought would be in this part of the bracket when it was all said and done.
Yeah, Mark, I think the story for me starts with what both of these teams had to really go through and really overcome to be here. And down on the field, you can feel that. This is obviously a big game, an opportunity to get to a national championship game, and neither one of these teams has taken this opportunity for granted.
We are so fascinated to see how this is going to play out tonight because, as you know, we had Miami in the first round. We watched them in their win last week against Ohio State. They're so good on offense at dominating time of possession and dictating the pace of play with that great offensive line and running game, and a seventh-year quarterback in Carson Beck. And Ole Miss, who likes to play about as fast as it gets in the FBS level. And one of the outstanding stories this year in Trinidad Chambliss, who can get rid of the ball fast. Who's going to dictate that seems to be where this is going to head tonight. Who'll get the win?
I couldn't agree more. I think the contrasting styles is where this game begins and ends. I think the team that dictates the tempo of this game, kind of almost mentally as well as physically, is going to win. Miami wants to drag you kind of in a steel cage match. Time of possession, methodical drives, run the football. The kind of personality of Mario Cristobal, their head coach. And Ole Miss, on the other hand, they want to track meet. They want it out in open spaces, get the ball to a lot of different playmakers. And what's interesting, Kesty, I think the quarterbacks for both teams are really the kryptonite for the defenses they're going to be facing if they can execute at the high level. You talked about Trinidad Chambliss. It's the off-the-script stuff that Miami defense is going to have to deal with. And then it's the methodical efficiency that Carson Beck has been about, because Ole Miss defensively is going to force patience, and I think Miami is all about patience.
That is just the start of our game plan, which is brought to you by LinkedIn. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/CFB. Terms and conditions apply. For more on the game plan and more on this game, our two sideline reporters are Ian Fitzsimmons and Chris Budden. Let's start with Chris behind the Miami bench.
The goal for this Miami defense early is to affect the quarterback. Look for them to try and get a hit on
Trinidad Chambliss in the first 10 plays. Corey Heatherman's defense practices all week like they hate the quarterback, that they want to know that they can feel them, and they do have some pieces back. Amon Moten Jr., who rolled his ankle against Ohio State, is available today up front for the Hurricanes. He might not start, but he is expected to play today as they have a couple extra bodies, and they'll need them with the pace that Ole Miss plays with on offense. Over on that sideline, over to Ian.
Thank you, Chris. Ole Miss head coach Pete Golding is in his third game. Again, third game as the head coach, and happens to be in his third game as a college football playoff head coach. And think about this. He was as relaxed as any head coach I have been around. When I say relaxed, he's on the field with his son, having a good time. And then when I walked up to him on the 50, Kelly, I said, hey, what's this moment like for you being in your third game as a head coach? And if you win this one, you're going to the Natty. He says, man, I hope they're ready because we're about to unleash our entire arsenal on their squad. Now, Kelly Stauffer, as a former player, with that relaxed attitude and that mentality of unleashing everything you have, how would you react to that? If it bleeds down into this roster, Ole Miss is going to have a heck of a night tonight.
I think that's why they're on this run. I think it is bleeding down into the roster. I think that's who Pete Golding is. It's kind of the antithesis to Lane Kiffin, and we can get into that story more as the game goes along, but Fitzy, to your point, I think that's exactly why this team is on this run, because Pete Golding is exactly what they needed for this time in this place.
Well, Kelly, Ole Miss has won the toss. You heard that big cheer. Everybody in red cheered when they say the Rebels are going to receive it. What a moment it was down with the captains at the center field there at the 50-yard line. The honorary captains for the Hurricanes, Hall of Famer Ray Lewis, Hall of Famer Edgerrin James, and for Ole Miss, Hall of Famer Patrick Willis. And someday in the Hall of Fame, one would think Eli Manning, two-time Super Bowl champ. His number 10 is retired by both the Giants and Ole Miss. And by the way, flew in with our spotter and stat man, Keith Parsons and Ken Benowitz. So we ought to get
a 2-on-2 game going with those four guys. That would be intriguing.
Well, we will have Ole Miss receiving the kickoff as the Rebels are wearing the powder blue uniforms tonight. Numerals in white, blue helmets. Miami going with the clean white look, tops and bottoms, and outlined in the orange and the green. Miami has not been at home since the middle of November when they played NC State. They finished the regular season with Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh on the road. They played their first rounder at Texas A&M. Obviously, everybody's on the road, neutral site for the Cotton Bowl in their win over Ohio State. And the irony is, if they win here today, not only would they play in their home building, which has never happened in the BCS or the college football playoff, but as fate would have it, they would be in their own locker room. That was decided last year when there was a decision made as to which semifinal bowl would get which national championship locker room. We are just about set to get underway here in Glendale, Arizona. Carter Davis going to kick it off from right to left. Isaiah Hartrup is waiting, and he's going to watch it sail over his head and into the end zone for a touchback. And now we get a look at 23-year-old Trinidad Chambliss, who many say was the fourth-string quarterback as he came over to Ole Miss from Ferris State, where he won a national championship at the D2 level. But he was clearly the number 2 quarterback, and it was an injury to Austin Simmons that got him the starting job week 3, and he's not giving it up since.
Yeah, Kesty, and I love what Trinidad said during the week leading up to this game. He said, you know, in the Sugar Bowl, it felt like I was playing in the backyard with my dad and my brothers and my cousins, and that's why he played like he did. He was footloose and fancy-free, and we're going to have to see more of that tonight for this team to be successful.
Kewan Lacey, nearly 1,500 rushing yards, is in the backfield. Tight end Daquan Wright motions on the right side of the line. 1st and 10 from the 25. A pass play out to the wide side. It is caught and immediately dropped as Dejon Stribling that time. Xavier Lucas, the cornerback for Miami, right on it. Might have got 3.
And Kesty, when Ole Miss has the ball, we may not be talking very much. You're going to have to let people hear you because it's about 22 seconds between snaps on average.
2nd down, we'll call it a long 6. From about the 29-yard line. Handoff this time, and Lacey tried to get up the middle and stuffed near the 30-yard line, just over the 30. Will give him 2 yards. Akeem Mesidor, part of a great front for Miami with Ruben Bain on the other end.